MAGA. Go to church on Sunday and hate on Monday.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, June is once again upon us, and what does that mean? That we're going to have a certain set of individuals that are going to literally flex their set of special rights. So it should actually be a pretty entertaining and dramatic month. Let's get into it.
If you don't support the trans community, I don't want you on my page. This is a trans-friendly page that I have right here. And if you don't like that, get the hell off my page, because I will support the trans community. I will protect the trans community. I will protect the trans community at all costs. I have lots of friends that are trans, and they are amazing people. If you get to know them, they are amazing inside and out. But you people that don't like the trans community, you just don't like them because they're different. That's not a trans community problem. That's a you problem, and you should not bring it down on anybody else besides yourself. Look at yourself in the freaking mirror for not liking them, because they're different. Everybody's different. We're all the same on the inside, but we're all different on the outside. That's what makes us great, to be different. That's what makes our country great, to be different. And if you don't like that, I really don't care. Get the hell off my page, because I don't want you on my page then.
If you are driving on a suspended license or no license and no insurance, you the wrongest motherfuckers. You the boss. You the boss. Yeah. Okay. You the boss. You the fucking CEO. Your ass wrong as hell. Who the fuck give a fuck about a driver's license and the insurance? Bitch. The only people that's getting got is them hoes that actually paying for insurance.
The fall of the American Empire is going to happen in my lifetime. And I'm excited to watch it.
I just wanted to check in with you guys. I was just in an elevator with 3 other people, and I realized I was the only man in the elevator. And as much as I have not been in office situations or elevator situations lately, my first internship at an office building downtown keyed into my brain and said, like, always let the women off first. That was an unspoken thing that actually was spoken to me at one point. But is this still a thing we're doing? Is it women get off first? Is it last to get on, first to get off? Because I just left that elevator when the doors opened first.
So I don't know how it happened, but I ended up on right-wing bootlicker, crybaby, bitch boy TikTok, and I want the fuck out. Can you guys help me?
My wiener may be small, and my mental health may be shit, and my physical health may be declining rapidly, and I don't really know where I was going with this.
What up? These are my bodyguards.
Misgender our queen one more time.
We're coming for you, transphobes.
Hey guys, for most of you who watch my videos, you know that I don't often post about myself. I like to react to breaking news about politics here in the US and around the world. But something interesting happened to me a few weeks ago, and with it being Pride Month now, I think this would be an interesting story to share. So I was going surfing with a good friend of mine, and we were actually just catching up, talking about how I went to a Trump protest a few weeks ago, and these 2 guys came up to us and they said, "Oh, you went to a Trump protest. You don't like Trump?" I said, "No, not a fan." They said, "Did you vote for Kamala Harris?" I said, "Yes, I did vote for Kamala." And then they said, "Oh, so are you guys both gay then?" My friend and I both look at each other confused. I say, "No, we're not gay. We just don't like Trump." And he says, "Good, because if you were gay, you'd be fucking evil." And I said, "Well, my younger sister's gay. What's the problem with that?" And he said, "Oh, if my younger sibling was gay, I would beat the shit out of them." At this point, my friend and I realized that these guys are just looking for a confrontation. They're looking for a reaction, so we stopped giving it to them, although we do continue to hear him say how evil and despicable gay people are. He says, "Gay people and black people are sin." They called us the F word, and eventually my friend and I just walked away, went for our surf, had a great time. The sad part is, this is Trump's America. People voted for Donald Trump because they wanted to say slurs. They wanted to be comfortable saying bullshit because they're not intelligent. They didn't vote for him for any actual economic policy. This is the reality of our country right now. It's sad, it's depressing, but during Pride Month, we need to expose these types of stories. We need to combat ignorance and help spread community, help spread positivity. So happy Pride Month. Hope I could help shine a light on this nasty story that happened. And yeah, happy Pride Month to everybody out there celebrating. God bless you.
I'm going to call BS on his story right out of the gate. And it's not because I have a biased lens. Obviously, I do have a bit of a biased lens, but I can actually set that aside and I can look at things right down the middle. The reason I'm going to call BS on this story is a few things. First of all, this guy is a liberal influencer on TikTok. And after he mentioned this, how, hey guys, I never usually report on myself with any personal stories. I just usually like to get into breaking news. So I went to check out his TikTok page. And he's like one of those Harry System type people where it's breaking news, Trump did this, breaking news, Trump did that. He's a complete propagandist and a gaslighter. Secondly, it's very convenient how this story happened to him weeks ago when he went to a Trump protest, yet he decides that he's going to save this exciting story for Pride Month. And then on another note, notice very carefully how he worded this. He kind of messed up in his wording at the beginning. He says that he was with an old friend and they went surfing and he was catching up with them. And then he explained how he went to a Trump protest. And then when he starts explaining the story, he's explaining it including that friend. You can see how he's fabricating this as he goes. I'm sure he recited it a little bit here and there. And don't get me wrong, do I actually believe that there's people that voted for Donald Trump that are bigots? Yeah, obviously there is. Do I believe that there's people that voted for Kamala Harris that are bigots in the closet? Yes, I do. So bigots, as I said before, they come in all sorts of shapes, forms, and sizes. So I'm not trying to be somebody who supports Trump here who's sitting in denial. I know that there's the possibility that there can always be somebody who wears the red hat that actually is racist. But everything here is just a little bit too convenient. He's a liberal influencer who's anti-Trump. He saves this story for weeks, and then he says that he's telling his friend about this story, yet he includes that same friend in the story that he's explaining to him. Then he really wants to keep firing it up, right? He doesn't realize that he's got a birthday cake that's already got too many candles on it. He just wants to keep adding more and more and more. Now, gay people are evil. They're sinners. Yeah, okay, there's some Christians out there that actually do have that type of frame of thought, you know, like they do go pretty far into their religion and think that way. But then what just looks a little odd is, yeah, gay people and black people, they're evil and sinners. I'm sorry, he's just putting a little bit too much out there. He's literally trying to hit every ball out of the park with this little story of his that it just seems not believable. So could his story be true? Possibly, with a bunch of exaggerations. Do I believe it's true? Absolutely not. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Content creators that are on the left seem to have a much easier path set out for them because all they have to really do is turn on a camera and lie and gaslight people, and they just seem to get all sorts of hits and clicks. Being on the right, we actually strive in truth. It's a much tougher game to play, but would I trade it in for what they do? Not one chance.
My grandfathers both fought in World War II. One of them also fought in World War I. Was a Republican senator in the state of Minnesota, a prosecutor, a Naval Academy grad. Loved this country. Loved it. Who's the president is what this question asks. Pathetic. A pathetic, weak man is the president. As weak as the day is long in the summer. Our supposed president is pissed off that our allies have helped a small country expose how weak Putin and his military are. They're weak, just like him, just like Taco. Yesterday, President Zelensky and the Ukrainians eliminated 40 bomber jets in Russia. And our president is pissed. Fuck.
My neighborhood has gotten increasingly Hispanic over the last couple of years, and it has never been as quiet and as peaceful as it is right now. I'd trade every trailer park Trump-loving redneck in America for a Hispanic immigrant right now if I could. I'd never think twice about it and never look back.
Arrest Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for treason.
Guess what time it is? Dun da da da. New beard time. So, it's Pride Month, and I did it. I did the full rainbow this time, and eyebrows and all. It took quite a bit of effort, but I'm okay with it. I mean, I kind of like my half and half better, but at the same time, it's something different, so I'll go for it. So what do y'all think? This is going to be a short one. I know I'm covered in fur. I got to get ready for work and all that stuff, so just let me know what you think. Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.
Raise your hand if you agree that Trump is the worst president in U.S. history.
And let's be friends. Hey, bitch. So I know Pride Month started yesterday, and I just want to wish everyone, I'm not a hetero Pride month. See, look, we can be inclusive. We can be very inclusive. I added you into the actual term. But listen, this message is not just for the queer people. It's for the closeted people, the people on the down low, the heteros who are on Grindr. Remember, if it wasn't for the queer community and the trans community back in the 80s and the 90s, you wouldn't have the luxury, the privilege to go onto these apps and cheat on your husbands and your wives with people of the same sex.
This is not an easy video to make, but I need to bring your attention to something that I think is an important issue for our country right now. My daughter is 7 years old, and a few years ago I had a discussion with her about gay, trans, and non-binary people. She was asking questions at that time, and I thought that as her father, it was the right thing to do. I was terribly wrong. The woke mind virus has taken hold of her in ways I never could have imagined. She has recently become obsessed with being a loving, caring human being. It really sickens me to my core. She told me that she thinks everyone is deserving of love no matter what, and I cannot imagine where she would have gotten such a sinful message. Probably Sesame Street, if I'm being honest. Her schoolwork has suffered as well. She's now only in the top 98% of her grade level in reading and math. Before this conversation, she was like the second coming of Isaac Newton, and now she can only read chapter books meant for 6th graders. Daddy Trump has warned us for years about the woke left, and I fear that these Marxist, socialist, communist motherfuckers are going to ruin everything. Please pray for me. This is how insane you people sound. Thanks for staying to the end. Have a great fucking day.
Okay, he says this is how insane you people sound. What sounds a little bit more insane to me is the fact that he just explained a story about his 7-year-old daughter that he had a conversation with a few years ago. Now, we know what a couple means. A couple means 2, a few means 3 or more. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt, and that was just 3 years ago. He had a conversation with his daughter about gay, trans, and non-binary people at the age of 4. Now, from what he claims, his daughter was pretty much well stating, everybody deserves the same peace and kindness and happiness and love. Okay, that's great. That honestly is a real great worldview. But the fact that he still sat down with his daughter at what I'm assuming was the age of 4 years old to have a discussion like this isn't a discussion for children. If you want to have your, diversity and all the rest of it, okay, that's one thing. But do you really have to explain it when it comes to gay, trans, and non-binary people and actually explain what that is to your daughter at the age of 4 years old? And then in the same video, within a minute, you want to call yourself a good father and expect your audience to believe that she's in the top 98% of her class and that she's reading at a 6th grade level. Hey, maybe she is. For all we know, she could be. There is kids out there that are 7 years old that are actually pretty bright for their age, but the fact that you're trying to credit it to the fact that you had a discussion with her when she was 4 years old about the LGBTQ community, and that opened up her mind and just made her much more intelligent. It's a little bit of a stretch. Chances are, what I would actually be hoping for is that he's actually telling a story here, and he didn't even really have this conversation with his daughter, just to take an outside shot, because he tried to do the clever flip at the end to make it look like, people on the right are insane with the way that they think and the way that they talk about this type of situation. So honestly speaking, I really do hope it's a fabricated story. I really do hope that his daughter actually is within the top 98% of her class and reading at a 6th grade level. I think that's great. To credit it to the conversation that he had with her, though, I'm really hoping that that's not the situation, because it's a little bit odd, a little bit strange, and I wouldn't exactly call it being a good parent to have a conversation like that with your 4-year-old daughter. You never know. Even some insane people, like, us people on the right, we might even actually consider that and call it grooming.
Citizenship for 11 million undocumented Americans now. Immigrants without green cards and a path to citizenship are totally Americans. They live in our neighborhoods, they work in our neighborhoods, heck, they might even be your friends. Immigrants of all stripes, however they came, however long they've been here, make America exceptional. They are part of our super strength. Now, as we watch the horrible things that Trump and his administration and Republicans do, and the horribleness of ICE, now is the time to be clear and to make the conscious call, the moral call, to give a pathway to citizenship to 11 million undocumented Americans.
Message to you dumb supporters, okay? Biden was so much of a better president than Donald Trump would ever be, okay? Biden actually passed legislation, okay? Biden actually passed effective legislation to help all of us, okay? Trump didn't do any of that. In fact, Trump, okay, has destroyed this country, has destroyed the economy, and has been nothing but a nuisance to our Constitution, okay? So why did you vote for that dude? Come on.
I'm out and about in the neighborhood, Hillcrest, and it's making me think that I could go and just quote George H.W. Bush circa 1980 on his position regarding immigration, and you fucking dumbass stupid Republicans would say that I'm un American, that I'm a communist, and I need to get out of the country. And I would be quoting Bush 41. I'm not going to do it because you don't possess, you absolutely lack the sophistication to understand. And I'm not going to waste that type of sophisticated, higher level remark on you dumb fucks.
This is PCOS. Yes, transgender women do get high testosterone, and we do have to take medication, and we do need to make doctor's appointment, just like every woman does. We do get irregular periods, and we do get stabbing pains.
Happy Sunday morning, everybody. It is June 1st. Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And you know what that means. For the next 30 days, every time a straight, white, Christian man who supports Donald Trump tells gay people to stop ramming it down his throat, an angel gets its wings. Happy Pride Month, everybody.
I just wanted to say happy Pride Month, everybody. We get 30 days to celebrate love, identity, resilience, and the fact that LGBTQ plus individuals live proudly and unapologetically, no matter how many people wish they wouldn't. So to the LGBTQ plus community, keep shining, keep being loud, keep living in full color. You are valid, you are powerful, and you are not going anywhere. Now, to the bigots. I hope that this month wrecks you. I hope every business you walk into is blasting Lady Gaga and throws a rainbow up in your face before you can even order your coffee. I hope your favorite beer posts something about inclusivity and you have to pretend to suddenly care about morals. I hope that all of your timelines become one long drag show and you can't escape no matter how many times you hit unfollow. And please, please, spare us the fake outrage. No one's forcing you to celebrate anything, but you will deal with it. You will sit in your sweaty little hate bubble watching people live freely, love openly, and thrive, while you stew in discomfort wondering why everyone else seems so damn happy while you're angry about two men holding hands. You lost, love won, welcome to June.
Well, for all these things that he's hoping happens to everybody, that he's calling the bigots during the month of June, we're already all kind of used to it because it's already all been thrown in our face for the past 4 years. Now, you're talking about, they're just out there to shine. They're out there to spread love. They're the most powerful people and yada, 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 and all that garbage. But the truth is how all the trans people have been out there bitching and whining and moaning about how they're losing all their rights. And then there's people like myself that will explain, well, no, you guys actually have what we call special rights. Pride Month is nothing more than a bunch of LGBTQ people getting together and hitting the streets and having what they call a parade, when in reality what they're really doing is actually abusing their special rights. Now, why do I say abusing their special rights? Well, how come for that 1 month when they actually have their parades, why do they have much less clothing on for those days? Why do children have to be there? Why does the LGBTQ community think it's a good idea to bring their children while there's a man wearing a thong 2 feet away from your child? Then Mr. Nail Polish here wants to state, please spare us for the fake outrage. Nobody is actually forcing you to celebrate anything. That's simply not true. I mean, it doesn't mean like we have to attend these pride parades or whatnot, but it's in everybody's face for 30 days. Now, do we have a problem with the trans community, the LGBTQ community? Do we have a problem with them actually having some time dedicated towards them? No, but why does it have to seem like it's all about sexuality? Why does it have to seem sexual? And back to the subject of transgender community having special rights. How come it seems like, during these pride parades, for instance, how come they can literally remove their clothing and walk around the street butt naked? And don't say that they aren't, because we've seen video footage of them walking around the street butt naked, and the police do nothing. They're like, oh, no. Like today, it's allowed to happen on these type of days. And yet, at the same time, on the same day, you can go 2 blocks away and take a normal straight man, have him remove his clothing and walk down the street, and what's gonna happen? He'll be arrested by the police for indecent exposure. So back to nail polish here. Look, I got no problem with anybody who actually wants to defend the LGBTQ community. Again, as I said, they're human beings. They do have rights, they deserve respect. But I don't really think that's what this guy here is up to. I get the feeling that he's the type of guy that was like, you know, one of those bully jocks in high school, always a tough guy, but always, you know, maybe eyeballing his teammates they never knew. Now don't get me wrong, to the gay community out there, you know, the ones that call yourselves normal gays, total respect for you guys. It's the people that want to throw it in kids' faces and smash it down everybody else's faces. Those are the people that I have an issue with. But this guy here, I have a feeling now that like transgenderism is a thing and there's trans women out there, I have a feeling that this guy now is in his glory, because he can fulfill his dream of gayness with what appears to be a woman, so at the same time he could fool himself that he's still macho and paint his nails for some reason. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys like this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel if you are new. If not, if you can like the video, share the video, comment, and press some buttons or something, that'll be greatly appreciated. And until then, I shall see you guys in our next video. Have a good one, guys.
Oh goody, it's Pride Month, so let me be controversial about what really goes down on these Pride events during Pride Month that you're probably not gonna like. Pride events are perceived as these social events where you get to learn about the history and meet other people and self-love, self-acceptance, when in reality it's completely over-sexualized and is just an opportunity for people to meet other people and intermingle, if you know what I'm trying to say, with anybody and everybody that they can. I went to a Pride event 3 years ago to be completely objective, just to have my own experience. I left within 15 minutes because the crap that I saw, multiple adults just barely wearing anything, underwear, thongs, women just showing their kids everywhere. It was horrifying. What does being gay or being proudful of who you are have anything to do with being virtually naked? Well, don't judge. They're just free. It's just self-acceptance. They're finally being themselves. Well, with that logic, if a female was like running away from a horrible domestic violence relationship and she's free, would she just randomly get naked? Like, what are you talking about? Nobody wants to say what it's really about. No one wants to be completely honest because we're afraid of what they might say. But that is literally what these events are. And sure, there can be some lessons of history throughout the years, but for 90% of it, it's just a big opportunity for people to hook up with each other. It's also just an opportunity for all these different companies to act like they give a crap for 30 days, to have a rainbow picture in their bio, to act like they care so they can rake in the money. It's just all messed up.